What's up, people? This is your boy Alex. I'm out on location, and today's I promised you an NFL football video. Today's episode, or should I say, yes, episode 11. Today's episode is going to be called Drew Brees versus Jay Cutler, the New Orleans Saints versus the Chicago Bears. Now, you probably thought this would never, ever in a million years ever happen on my video channel, but it is happening. See, this football team's been around since 1967, the history of New Orleans, and there's a lot of history in that city. You know, they've made movies and television shows about vampires, werewolves, you know, shows like The Originals, you know, movies like damn, I forgot that damn movie, but I can't even think about it right now. But that football team has a lot of history. And of course, they won a Super Bowl, I think in 2009 against the Indianapolis Colts. You know, Drew Brees put up some strong, powerful numbers and was on par with Peyton Manning in that Super Bowl. And that's the Super Bowl that everyone talks about a lot, when the Saints beat the Colts, and a lot of people thought that should have been Peyton Manning's second championship. But you know, New Orleans had never won a title in their franchise for like 50 plus years, and Drew Brees at that point was playing football for about, I say, a nice good 10, 11 years at that point, and finally done something that he hadn't done in his NFL career. That's win a championship. That's win a Super Bowl. Of course, Reggie Bush was on that football team as well. And history was made for New Orleans. Now, and then we always ask that $1 billion question from that Janet Jackson rap song or hip hop song, what have you done for me lately? And lately, we haven't heard that much from Drew Brees. I mean, in fact, I researched it on the internet. I didn't even know he was still playing professional football. You know, I thought the guy dropped off the face of the earth. I thought he retired 3 years ago. And then I found out he recently signed a 2-year extension contract. At this point, he's the second coming of Brett Favre. Now, I know a lot of people saying, come on, man, you're going to compare Drew Brees to Brett Favre? Where are the comparisons? Seriously, he was drafted by the San Diego Chargers first. He played with the San Diego Chargers for about 1 to 2 seasons, possibly 3 seasons, and then he got traded to New Orleans. You know, when he was with the San Diego Chargers, you know, he wanted to take the spot of Philip Reed, you know, the quarterback of the, San Diego Chargers, but you know that was never going to happen. I mean, he was bigger, stronger, faster. He could throw the ball better, but they just stuck with Reeves. And you know, after 2 or 3 seasons with the San Diego Chargers, you know, I want to go to New Orleans where I can be their quarterback, and he's been their quarterback ever since. So that's why I say he's the second coming of Brett Favre. The only thing with Brett Favre was they didn't trust his ability on the football because he was immature and he was young. Where in Drew Brees' case, he was young, but he was mature for his age, and he showed that he could play football at a high level. They just did not want to accept it. And when he got to New Orleans, in 10 years, he would play against his division rivals and teams from, you know, other divisions. Now, on the other hand, we have the city of Chicago, a notorious city that's known for everything. We know Chicago is known for gangsters. That's where they filmed the last 2 or 3 Batman films that Christopher Nolan's directed, the Dark Knight trilogy. We know sports franchises live in Chicago. That's where the great legendary Michael Jordan played his basketball, is in the city of Chicago, aka the Windy City. You know, there's the Chicago Bulls, there's the Chicago White Sox, there's the Chicago Cubs baseball team. But then there is one team in Chicago that everyone to this day, when they get ready for the NFL season, that is the Chicago Bears. Oh yeah, them Chicago Bears. Remember that commercial where they made fun of that coach from the Carolina Panthers 15 years ago, the Chicago Bears is who we thought they was. They're who we thought they was. Well, now we can start saying we knew all along what the Chicago Bears are now. Nowhere on the NFL radar whatsoever. Haven't won a championship since 1985, and they've been in the franchise for like 50 or 60 plus years, and the last time they won a Super Bowl was in 1985. That was just 1 year before I was born, people. I was born January 1986, but the last time they won a Super Bowl was in 1985. Now, the Chicago Bulls have gone the 5 Super Bowls in that time period, but only won 1 out of 5 tries. And you see today, Jay Cutler's not with the Chicago Bears, but he's with the Miami Dolphins. So he's towards the end of his NFL career. While on the other hand, when he was with the Chicago Bears for about 13, 14 seasons, there was a rivalry brewing between the Saints and the Chicago Bears. And every time these two teams played against each other, it was always, who's the best? Drew Brees, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler or Drew Brees, who was the best? Now, there were times where Drew Brees won the vast majority of these football games, of these exchanges, and there were every once in a while Jay Cutler would get the best of Drew Brees in these football games. Now, one's won a Super Bowl, the other one is playing his whole entire career not winning a championship. And we know how Jay Cutler is going to turn out. Another one of these good quarterbacks just can't win the big one. While we look at somebody like Drew Brees, who's got Tom Brady numbers, he's still playing football at his age. He's like 40. And when it's all said and done, he's going to be like Brett Favre, the best football player to play the game with 1 Super Bowl. And I think what Drew Brees is trying to do is he's trying one last attempt to make it back to the Super Bowl, to at least win 2 championships before his career's over. I'm pretty sure if you met him in person, I've never met him, but I've had friends that met him, that they said that he said he would love if he could win just 1 more Super Bowl. Every football player before their career is over wish they could win just 1 more title. So who's better, Drew Brees or Jay Cutler? And my defense argument, I got to go with Drew Brees. I still think he still has a lot of football left in him. I think he's going to end up like Tom Brady. He's going to end up playing until he's 40, 41, 42. And then somewhere around there, he's going to retire from football and be inducted into the Hall of Fame sometime after, maybe 10 years from now. Jay Cutler, I see him retiring with Miami Dolphins. I mean, there's not much to say with that football team. If he can stay around with that football team, and if the Patriots, retire and Tom Brady retires, then I don't know. But I don't see anything for Jay Cutler at this point. I mean, he's at the end of his football career. Drew Brees is towards the end of his career too. So not to be trying to play favorites and favoritism. I mean, both quarterbacks are good, but unfortunately, one's won a Super Bowl. The other one is going his whole career not winning a Super Bowl. And, people always remember what you've done in the sport of football. So I hope you like this video. Yeah, this one may be a little shorter than expected. Next one, I promise you, is going to be far more fun and far more entertaining than this one. I have something in store for you football fans for the next video. It's going to be Brett Favre going against a player from this generation. And you'll be shocked of who I compare Brett Favre to from this era of football. So that video you might want to stand tuned for, because I got to do my movie review, and then, we'll get back to the NFL videos. Until next time, it's peace.